As of right now, we do not have any new updates other than what we had from earlier today. We'll see if the latest Hurricane Hunter plane is still in the storm to see what they have discovered. And if you haven't heard yet, the biggest weather news that we have at this time is that, again, Francine, it took a while to get there, but we are finally seeing the storm strengthen and get a little bit stronger at this point. So welcome to Weather Overtime. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek, keeping you updated as to what's going on. Let me just double check and make certain that our audio is getting through. I'd hate to be turning this into a weather pantomime situation, but we do have, again, the potential for seeing some big possible changes in our weather forecast out there. We are live on YouTube and Twitch, so if you haven't had the chance to check in before, please say so in the comments. Would love to see who's checking in and from where. We are, again, live at this time on both Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. We've had some audio and connection problems over the last couple of days, so definitely thanks to everybody for checking in and for dropping on by. Of course, again, this is the big weather story of the day, to where we now have a stronger storm in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit, and more importantly, what it means for our forecast in just a little while. If you've never joined us here before, this is our live online video weather blog. We try to be nightly during the weeknights to be able to bring you an idea as to what is happening out there when it comes to the forecast, and we'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. We come from Chattanooga, Tennessee, northeast Alabama, northwest Georgia, southeast Tennessee, and western North Carolina. That is the News 12 viewing area. But if you got questions, please say hello, drop it into the chat function on either Twitch or YouTube, and we'll be glad to hear where you're from and any other questions you might have. High temperature in Chattanooga today, just below 90 degrees. 86 is the normal high, so again, we're pretty close to where we should be. 58 the low. We were well below normal. It had a nice little chill out there this morning, walking the youngling to school. Temperatures back in the high 90s for the record high that was last set back 99 years ago, or 101 years ago. Got to get that backwards from there. But either way, 99 it looks like for there. We have not seen a record high that hot, and not in the triple digits. That's also something. For the precipitation, we are behind, way behind for September, and also for the year. We're pushing 9.5 inches behind normal, so exceptionally dry across the entire area, and nothing showing up on radar at this time. Temperatures across much of the region back in the 60s and 70s. Left the 80s behind, a few lower 60s showing up over toward western North Carolina, so some beautiful conditions out there for Tuesday evening. Numbers again through the rest of the area and beyond. It's beautiful, very much on the mild side. Numbers back a little warmer, back toward the mid-south. 60s and 70s across much of the rest of the southeastern United States for tonight. What does it look like back closer to home? Well, we do have, again, some decently clear skies. It is very hazy, especially way up several hundred to a few thousand feet because of the wildfire smoke. So a little bit more cloud cover out there. We'll take a look at satellite picture in just a little bit. In the meantime, fairly dry for right now, and taking a look at temperatures back in the high 70s at the Chattanooga airport, just over the horizon here. Winds are calm, humidity is decently low, so we're not seeing that much in the way of a problem for very sultry conditions. What we do have is a very good amount of smoke, dark charcoal color, indicating thick smoke across much of the area. Every single red dot on here is a brand new wildfire reported by the VEERS satellite system suite. So we are picking up a decent amount of smoke, but most of that, again, is way up high. the air quality down toward the surface is actually very good for tonight, even though it is a little hazy. We did not see any air quality alerts because this is smoke aloft. This is not showing anything of that translating down to the surface at this time. Now, what are we going to wind up with in the next several days? There will be more chances of smoke wandering on through from localized wildfires, so it could be even hazier by tomorrow morning according to the smoke model out there. And then we might see a bit of a break coming up as we get some changes in the forecast, thanks in part to a new system, again, making its way up around the Gulf of Mexico. High pressure has been well in control of the area for the last several days, and that's been pushing dry air down from Canada, but now cloud cover is making its way up from the Gulf of Mexico, with Francine, now a Category 1 hurricane, pushing this moisture up our direction. So we will get more in the way of moisture. That leftover front from last week is still sitting across the rim of the Gulf, and that is giving us the potential for less moisture for now. But once again, that will be changing into the next couple of days. So what are we expecting for tonight? Again, some haze and clouds, but that is about it. Some 60s, a few high 50s in the higher elevations. By Wednesday afternoon, it's going to be toasty. Temperatures back in the mid to upper 80s once again. And then that system of moisture starts getting closer to us. I don't think we're going to see too much in the way of rain until about Thursday morning, when what's left of Francine, tropical storm, could be that all the way up to around the area close to Jackson, Mississippi. And then the farther north it goes, the more power it loses. Once these systems move over the land, that saps its power by about 50%. So this may remain a closed circulation low. It may remain decently strong, so that by Thursday afternoon and evening, we start to see more potential of rain and also showers and thunderstorms mixed together. And then this storm system goes back to our west, hovers over the mid-south, and continues to move rain. Not a great deal of it, but some for us, and that is exactly what we need right now. That for Friday. I think we'll see even more potential of showers, possibly thunderstorms as the kids get out of school coming up into Friday afternoon. And right about the time we get into Friday night football, good possibility of more showers and thunderstorms. That area of low pressure stretched out, that trough, might help to irritate the atmosphere a little bit, and that could begin to give us some more problems in the form of more widespread showers and thunderstorms. So Friday night football, I would say for right now, definitely want to keep an eye as to what's going on. By early Saturday, that front sticks around, gets a little stronger. The remnants of Francine remain to our northwest, and it looks like outside of just coming decently close to the area by Saturday, we'll continue to see that circulation pattern stick around for the possibility of scattered showers and thunderstorms right on into the weekend and beyond. And then it's going to take a while for this area of low pressure to slowly make its way out of the picture. It will be around for several days. If it makes its way through the weekend, it could make it through to next week, Monday, and that is where we see that possibility of some more areas of showers and thunderstorms into and around next Tuesday. But for tonight, it's just cloud cover making its way across the area, and that for now is going to be it. Now, not for tonight, not seeing any problems here. Likewise for Wednesday, the possibility of severe weather will be down to our south as that storm system sticks around the Gulf Coast, making landfall Wednesday into Thursday. Here's where it starts to get more interesting. We see a marginal threat of severe weather close to the News 12 viewing area. The pale green indicates the possibility of just generic thunderstorms. Severe weather potential, southern middle Tennessee, most of Alabama, eastern parts of Mississippi, and that is where we may pick up some stronger weather as the core of that area of low pressure makes its way up and around the mid-south. So well to our west, that is where we might see the potential of a higher risk of severe weather coming up. Now, it doesn't, again, look to be anything huge, but naturally we will be watching that. We also see the potential here, and this is getting a lot more interesting because yesterday the highest amount of rainfall, the reds, the yellows, the oranges here, was mainly back to the west of the Mississippi River. Now it is moving farther to the east. That's what happens to these computer models, to where they change over time. And as we mentioned, there was a possibility for this system to just wander a little bit farther to the east, pushing more of that rainfall our direction. Our chances for rainfall are going up. Yesterday it was about 3/4 of an inch, then an inch point 25, and then we start to see all of this moisture getting closer to us. Better possibility of flash flooding well back to our west, Mississippi River from the mid-south down to the delta. That's going to be the heaviest rainfall down there. Estimates of 5 to 10 inches plus in some areas here off the Louisiana coast, and then more of this rain could be passing our direction, so we may be picking up more amounts in the next several days. So far, it does not look to be a major threat for flash flooding. That's going to be back to our west and our south. Hopefully it stays that way. The last thing we really need is to pick up huge amounts of rainfall all at once, and we need to have that rain spread out over the next several days on there. What we also may be looking for is the potential of maybe some fairly breezy conditions across the area. So starting off again tomorrow morning, winds occasionally 5 to 10 miles per hour, pretty normal, and then into the breezier part of the day, 10 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts possible. As we get into Thursday, especially Thursday afternoon, that's where we may see some wind gusts, and this has really changed in the last forecast period. Winds coming in from out of the east as the circulation pattern is way down that way, so winds coming in from this direction, and they could be relatively breezy. Wind gusts of 20 to maybe 30 miles per hour plus by Thursday afternoon, right about the time the kids get out of school. And the windy conditions will settle a little bit, but will continue to be decently breezy through Friday and right into the weekend. Friday night football, if we get any games in, which again with widespread showers and thunderstorms could be an issue. The passing game for Friday night football around that time frame for kickoff Eastern time could be a little choppy out there, and again with winds out of the east, any north-south games being played direction-wise, could be some problems with that pass kind of wobbling one direction or the other, so we'll see how well that particular looks up. We'll take a look at the details in regards to Francine coming up here in just a second. Let me switch over here to another of our views on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network. Tomahawk crane and rigging camera to Island Cove Marina and Resort, and this view of Lake Chickamauga looking off to the west. We'll see if we got a good sunset shot here in time lapse in just a little bit. So for the next several days, this is what we're going to be concentrating on for the possibility of a dry Wednesday and a warm one too, with temperatures back just about normal, mid to upper 80s, and then more chances of showers and thunderstorms going on as we go through the next several days. If that area of low pressure, the leftover area of low pressure, sits to our northwest, I would not be surprised to see more chances of showers and thunderstorms Saturday into Sunday, and maybe even into Monday. And then it looks like that system will dwindle and pass toward the east. So we're going to go with partly cloudy and very mild temperatures coming up on Tuesday next week. Hopefully, again, not a major concern for any severe weather here. We're not seeing any severe weather in the Mid-South for now, but that is something that, again, we are going to be watching very carefully out there. So keep it tuned to News 12 for further details as to what we may be seeing in the near future where we are concerned right around this area. All right, lots to talk about in the tropics, so let's go ahead and get going with, again, the new information. Hurricane Francine was a tropical storm, but again, we saw indications that the storm has developed further, stronger, and more organized. So it is Category 1, winds of 75 miles per hour. Let's check in and see. I believe they are still in the storm as of right now. The latest mission from the hurricane hunters has their plane making their way up to the northwest and now going south just off the coastline of Corpus Christi. So they've already been in for one pass today. They're going through again. They're probably going to do another pass through here before going out. They're the ones who found the winds inside the storm from using radar and other equipment like drop signs, radio signs, have found that the winds have increased to 75 miles per hour. That takes it up to a hurricane status. So again, you may be sitting there and saying, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is that the storm is getting stronger. It's also getting more organized, and the pressure is dropping, which means this system is becoming more of a threat. It's becoming more energetic. It's tapping into the energy from the Gulf of Mexico. So for right now, this system could be a major threat to the Louisiana coastline. Pardon me. We'll continue to find out more about what's going on with the Hurricane Hunter's plane and the information that they are providing out there. We'll take a look at what else is going on in the tropics in just a little bit. Stick around for that. For now, as this system gets stronger, again, by tomorrow afternoon and evening, we should be looking at this system making landfall on the Louisiana coastline somewhere around very early Thursday morning. And because this is now leaning to the east a little bit more, this might be making a direct impact on New Orleans. So for right now, travel down that direction. We'll take a look at the watches and warnings in just a little bit. What we're also looking at is this system, again, making its way up farther to the east than what it was. The conventional weather models here, spaghetti models as they are known. Let me get rid of the hurricane forecast. You can see the hurricane forecast as we get rid of this. You can see where the majority of the computer model strips, again called spaghetti models for obvious reasons, this system is going a little bit farther over to the east. And as it leans that direction, that is where the National Hurricane Center map goes. Now, a couple of them are taking it even farther over to the east, but it looks like the majority are taking it right over New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta, Jackson, Mississippi, into around Thursday morning, and that's when our rain will be moving up our way. By the time we hit around 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday, the storm will be right to our west, and that, again, is in a perfect place to deliver breezy winds, more rain, more showers, more thunderstorms, maybe even some severe weather. We'll see how well that comes up in the next few days. That, again, devolving from a hurricane to a tropical depression, a tropical storm, then a tropical depression up around the mid-south, going north up the Mississippi Valley, and then it continues, and then it slows down a little bit. So it could go anywhere in this gray shaded area, could lean back toward Little Rock, could lean back over toward Nashville, and that, again, making its way up towards St. Louis by late Friday. That's the official National Hurricane Center forecast. Now, again, we're waiting for more information from the National Hurricane Center to see what else may happen here. Tomorrow's forecast might lean it back to the west. It might lean it back to the east, might continue it straight up the Mississippi Valley. We'll have to wait and see what the overnight models have to say about that. But in the meantime, this is what you really want to concentrate on, because if you are going to be traveling anything around or close, say between coastal Texas and right to the Florida Panhandle, we've got hurricane warnings in effect for coastal Louisiana. We've got tropical storm warnings for the mouth of the Mississippi and back toward the area right off the Texas coastline, including right up along where Lake Charles is located. We have tropical storm watches as far north as Jackson, Mississippi. Those leftover storms can go right across that area, and exactly that's what we're looking at for right now. So for the time being, that's a watch in the darker shaded tan areas between Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Jackson. That is a tropical storm warning. So tropical storm conditions expected within 24 to 36 hours. And with a hurricane warning, this means that a hurricane level type wind intensity could be a problem again within about 24 to 36 hours. So Texas to Florida, anywhere there, Jackson, Mississippi to Pensacola, Florida, all the way back to Galveston, Houston, Victoria, Corpus Christi, and off the coastline. toward the mouth of the Rio Grande, that is where we should see the worst of the worst conditions. So this is not an area to be in. So if you are planning on heading this direction for a late vacation, for summertime coming to an end, not a good idea. Wait until this system is cleared and make certain the cleanup efforts, if there are anything in the way of big problems from that, you don't want to be going into an area where services are going to be diminished and you might have to evacuate anyway. So something to think about if you are going to be going that way for right now. That's the best we can say. Also, one little bit of good news at this time is that we are seeing today, this is known as the campfire graphic, and for a very good reason, the number of hurricanes in yellow, the number of hurricanes and tropical storms totally, today is the halfway point. Now, we still have a ways to go. Again, right on the tip of this today is the midpoint between June 1st and December the 1st. So right now, today, tonight, early tomorrow, this is the halfway point of the hurricane season. So from here on out, it is still going to be busy. We are still going to get on this side of the slope the heaviest amount of possible storms, depression, storms, and hurricanes. That's going to be a good possibility. It is still expected to be mondo busy as we go from late September into and around portions of October. That is where we're going to be looking for, again, the potential of the highest amount of danger from anything over the ocean. So please keep it tuned to News 12. Please keep it tuned to NOAA for more information as we go throughout the course of the next several days and weeks. We've got half the season over, half the season to go. Now is not the time to let our guard down and say, oh, we've hit the peak, that means everything's over with. No, it most certainly is not. So again, please be weather aware. Please keep it tuned for more information about what's going on, and we'll keep you advised as to what may be heading our direction depending on what goes on. So stay tuned again for more on that. So I think that should just about do it. We'll do a couple of extracurricular activities here and we'll call it a night because we've got a lot of information here for the last 20 minutes. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying our weather blog efforts here on News 12 from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you very much, News 12 viewer Carlene Wallace, for a spectacular sunset through the sea reeds and grasses of Anna Maria Island on the 24th of August. That's our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, we'd love to see what you're seeing out there, so email them to us, drop them to our social media pages in the comments section, or go to wdef.com/photos. You can be anonymous if you want to, but please give us a description and or a location. That would help us out rather a lot, so we could tell everybody what exactly it is that you were looking at there. So we won't have to make something up and be completely and totally in the dark about that. So thank you again for everybody for sending in those wonderful pictures out there. All right, so speaking of tropical activity, and hard to believe it's 124 years since the Galveston 1900 hurricane. Missed that anniversary a few days ago. Tropical cyclones are responsible for generating how much in total damages on the area between 1980 and 2021? This information from the National Hurricane Center. The correct answer was $1.1 trillion. That's rather a lot. And if you'd like to know more about this, go to our website, wdef.com/vote now. Use the QR code to get there. New poll goes up at midnight. Also go to this website for more news and sports polls. Would love to hear what you're thinking on that. So please vote in our poll, and we will have more on that coming up again tomorrow with a brand new question on News 12. So we definitely want to stay tuned for more on that. Thanks to friendandroofing.com for being our sponsor. Thanks to everybody for being the sponsors that you are. And if you would like to become a sponsor, please contact us. All you have to do is, if you want to, is give us a shout at wdef.com/weather for our forecast. If you'd like to contact our sales department, again, through wdef.com, please do so. You can email me. You can drop more information to our social media pages. Or, again, you can find me on all these social media pages here. News 12 is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and that's it. I'm on a few more different and more diverse ones out there, but at least you can find me out there someplace. Facebook kicked me off, and I'm not able to get back on again, unfortunately, so that would be nice, but not going to be happening again anytime soon from what it looks like. Again, we'll keep our eyes on Francine to see what is heading our direction from the remnants of those storms out there. So keep it tuned to News 12 for the latest on that. We've only been on here for a good 20 minutes or so. We're going to go ahead and throw it back to regular programming. The debate is on tonight, so with the presidential debate, so we will probably be on a little bit late on News 12 at 11 for the late edition. We'll have more on the forecast with Chip Chapman coming up bright and early on Wednesday morning, 5 a.m. Please tune in for more on that with him. And also, again, bottom section on the red bar down there, our website, wdef.com/weather. We'll have more again tomorrow on Weather Overtime. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in for tonight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. Stay tuned for much more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll see you again on Peak of the Week Wednesday.